Hello friends, just today I am going to start one more topics like SARIMAX model. This is the part of like a econometrics. I am using a Google Collaboratory and previous videos I have already discussed sometimes these building blocks like a AR auto-regressive, MA moving average, ARMA combined of AR and MA models, ARIMA like adding differentiation like a I of ARMA model, and I also use like a SARIMA adding a seasonality to the ARIMA model. So in this video just one of the most univariate time series, but it is not most of the time it is using in the multivariate. And it is we have to understand like that the external variable makes the models not a univariate anymore. So SARIMAX model is not considered a perfect example of univariate time series model. Univariate time series model only use variations in target variable, while SARIMAX model use external variable as well as. So it's this variables like as it is like a previous, so mathematical definitions of this model, like you can write yt will equal to bt and xt plus ut, and remaining just like a previous like a phi p l phi capital phi p ls delta d delta s d capital D ut will equal to at theta q l theta capital Q ls seasonality and it. So this is the basic, like where the P as the AR order, Q for a MA order, I for a differentiation order, P for seasonal order, Q for seasonal MA order, D for capital D like a seasonal differentiation, S is the seasonal coefficient. So before that we try to understand what is the difference between the supervised model and SARIMAX model. So most of the cases supervised model we will see as the many like a supervised model use an external variable to predict a target variable. This idea is very similar to the X part of SARIMAX. And sometimes we will see some questions like which one of them you should use in a practice. So from a theoretical point of view, SARIMAX may be preferred in cases where the time series part is more present than the external variable part. If the external variable alone can explain a lot, and this is a complement by a part of autocorrelation or seasonality, supervised model may be better choice. So let's see, just I am going to take a data like from Kaggle. So I am collecting this data from a Kaggle, so don't worry. And second thing, just SARIMAX model, and it adds the X components like external variable imported like a panda as a PD, import matplot.pyplot as PLT. And from Google Colab, because I am using a Google Colab, so from google.colab import drive and drive.mount parenthesis colon slash content underscore drive, import OS environment and kaggle underscore configure underscore dir will equal to content drive my drive kaggle, and percentage cd content drive my drive kaggle I have already using, and kaggle competitions downloaded like a store sell forecast. So I have downloaded the data like this. You could see here the data will equal to pd.read underscore csv train csv. So this is a way we already I have discussed how to download the data from Kaggle. And .head we have gotten like a your data store has been given, department has been given, date has been given, weekly sales and is holiday. So these are the columns. And next the data group by date and sum, and so you could see here your data like this, and so your sum is data like this is holiday, and another if you want to like is holiday data like it is greater than 0, so you could see your data, and after that you can see data is holiday dot apply a lambda functions like a float, so you can convert it to the floats also. And then I am going to plot this data. So if I have plotted this data, let's see, data weekly sales, and I have plotted this data. So we can see the next step to use like a correlations analysis to study whether we may expect and the improvement from adding the holiday information into the model if there is no correlation at all between sales and holiday. So it would be unwise to add it to the model. So let's see, do we have any correlation? So let's try here. So I have taken here the is there correlation sales and holiday. So we could see very less, 0.17. so like the correlation coefficient between the sales and holiday is 0.17. It is not a very high but enough to consider adding the variable to model. The model itself will compute most appropriate coefficient for variables. So let's the fitting a SARIMAX model. So write a random, import a random seeds 1 2 3 4 5 I have created, and import a stats model dot API sm, and from sklearn matrices import r square underscore. So train data like a weekly sales, and we are taking like a except end of the tail. Before that we try to understand like suppose I am going to create the SARIMAX model. So it is important to understand like endogenous and exogenous terminology. Endogenous variable are the target variable. This is where all the time series components will be estimated from. In the current case it is a weekly sales, so you could see here the weekly sales, but exogenous like endogenous is a weekly sales, but exogenous variable like are explanatory variable. This is where the model takes additional correlations from. In the current example, holiday is your exogenous variable. So in this data, I will not do the hyperparameter search again. So if you remember like a previous video, so the optimal scores was founded like a SARIMA 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 52 weeks. So this example we will try to understand through this code. So let's see. Just I have imported, so we can see here like 133 length and 17,822. Similarly, let's see, just you can do here. So the data of the weekly sales, so it is taking -10. Now I am using like a time series SARIMAX sm.tsa states space and SARIMA endogenous and exogenous, just I have already discussed 0, 1, 1, seasonal order like a 1, 1, 1 and 52 weeks also included. And after that we could see here residuals and model dot fit like a residuals and residual summary. If you want to see here your residual summary, so SARIMAX result, there are 133 observations, weekly sales, and we could see 0, 1, 1, and this one likelihood has been given, AIC has been given, BIC has been given, HQIC has been given, and this one is the today is 17, so we could see here. And now covariance and is holidays coefficient is this, standard error is this, Z statistics, and probability is absolute, you could try to understand, and higher and lower it has been given. L1 and L2 52 weeks like SL like MA SL sigma and L-jung box J-course 2.58 and probability is 0, heteroscedasticity is 1.50, probability is 0.30, skewness and kurtosis. So each and everything you try to understand, and after that I am going to the plot here. So forecasting here, so residuals forecast step 10 exogenous data is holiday and -10. So we could see here using one additional variable, so it remember that there is no limit for a number of exogenous variable include in the SARIMAX model, as long as you can provide a future value for this variable. This may work. Pay attention here, and many variables that can improve a model performance are not useful in a practice. For example, you may be able to explain a sales by using weather data. So it's the like a weather data for the future is not yet known. So while this variable may have an important impact on sales, it can't be used to improving the forecast accuracy. So basic thing just we have understand in this data. Look here, the test is below and forecast has been given. So sometimes you could see here the 73% R square test, so it's not a bad, you can see here. So what do we understand in this? The SARIMAX model allows the adding external variable to the SARIMA model, and SARIMAX has two types of variable. One is the endogenous, this is the target variable, and another we try to understand like a exogenous, this is the external variable. And another, we need to specify the future value of the exogenous variable when the forecasting, and therefore when using the exogenous variable, it is important to know that you have fixed information for the future about them. And next is the, in this variable, like a holiday can walk, so as we know which holiday will occur in the future. So as variable like a weather cannot work, as you will not know which weather will occur in the future, so you can't take care. So it's a very easy process. So I think you will do the practice and go in the future. Thank you.